Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, here we are for one of the most anticipated games of this Adelaide Crows My Coach Career Mode. In today's episode we're going to be taking on Port Adelaide in our home showdown at the Adelaide Oval. Of course it is one of the games that I most look forward to of the whole year and the whole Coach Career Mode, and I'm pretty sure you guys do too. Love the showdowns. Of course, if you didn't already know, last year the grand finals between us and the Power. In the grand final showdown at the MCG, we did take the Chocolates to get the premiership, and here we are meeting with them again, 1:15, round 9 at the Adelaide Oval. Should be a cracking contest. If you haven't gone ahead and watched last week's episode, please go ahead and do so now, because I'm about to spoil it here. So last week, Friday night footy, and we comfortably get over the Demons in the end. We win 128-89, and there was some really good stand-up performers. Nick Dacos, Rory Sloan, Josh Shelley. We played really well and ended up getting a pretty comfortable win. Meanwhile, Port Adelaide last week got the job done on the Gold Coast versus the Gold Coast Suns. And the week prior had a draw with Geelong, and then the week prior to that lost in a thumping game to Brisbane up at the Gabba. So it's going to be interesting, this game. They've come off a loss, a draw and a win. Every single possible result you could have in football. Loss, draw, win is their last three. Career history for us, 77.78 with 28 wins, 7 losses and a draw in both of these two seasons, showing that we've been in really good form. We've won 3 finals and won a premiership as well, so really nice to see there. Now, of course, match objectives before we start hitting team selection. Of course, there's going to be team dilemmas as well. 22 marks, 4 set shot goals, 4 soccer kicks. Right, before we hit team selection though, we're going to go into the emails. Right, let's see the emails. So the stand-up performers against the GWS Giants were O'Brien, Rochelle and King. Josh Dacos wants a chance, that's a little while ago. Team Melbourne, we don't need that anymore. So the stand-up performers in the clubs winning against Melbourne were Dacos, Sloan, Rochelle. Port Adelaide won 3 games, Walker's in red hot form. King wants a chance as well. So couple of selection dilemmas to be dealt with in the selection. I feel like though, again, as I did say at the end of last week's episode, I feel like we go unchanged. Our last little bit of form's been really good, and I don't really think it's anything to be messed with. Now, of course, when Smith comes back in, that's going to open up more selection dilemmas, and you can see there we have a heap of players here that want to get into the senior side, so it is going to be pretty tough to open up spots, considering with such a stacked team. Nobody's really let me down so far. There's nobody really on the chopping block right now, so we're going to be going unchanged as well. Injuries, again, Smith is just 1 week away from returning, but whether he returns or not entirely sure just yet. Port Adelaide, Dersma, Finlayson and Chocky are both out, are all out. Tribunal, nobody for us, and Port Adelaide. Houston. Alright, let's go to the Adelaide Oval showdown time. Love to see it. Prediction. My prediction is that I reckon the Crows will win. I reckon we're going to win by 28, a bit of a bigger margin. 28-point win for the Adelaide Crows in their home showdown at the Adelaide Oval. So I'll see you guys there. See you there. Right, here we go. One of the most anticipated games of the season. Of course, one of the Adelaide Crows' favourite, a home showdown in round 9 at the Adelaide Oval. Hopefully a sunny day. Let's see. Oh, beautiful day at the Adelaide Oval. Beautiful day. Sun is out, sun is shining, and some brilliant team. The brilliant team's walking out here. Here we go for the showdown. Crows in the Power. Here we go. Straight underway out of the middle. O'Brien's going to knock off his opponent. Now Rory Sloan's just going to come running through out of the middle, and he was lucky there not to be pinged holding the ball for sure. And now, straight away from the Power, they can have a shot, and it's going to go through by Walker. From outside 50, dream start for the Power. Now though, Nick Dacos, Josh Shelley's got to be really clean here, and he is. Josh Shelley steams away. He's going to look at options. That is a ripper kick. to Connor Rosie. He's actually got one more on to King. Brilliant play there by the Adelaide Crows. This simply must be their first goal of the day, and Ben King will not stuff that up. The Crows have their first. Brilliant team play there for our first of the showdown. Sits about 20 metres out, directly in front. This should be no problem for the Crows recruit, and he just gets it through. Taylor Walker, of course, traded to Port Adelaide, so the Crows could get more youth in the side. But Taylor Walker doesn't even look like he's aging. That's his second on the board already. That kick actually far from his best. Jason Horne-Francis. Just going to look at options. Fogarty. Brilliant mark, brilliant bullet pass there by Jason Horne-Francis. He knew what he needed to do, and now Darcy Fogarty knows what he needs to do, which is finish the goal. Exceptional play by the Crows. They've done a good job of finding their targets early, and it results in the Crows having 3 goals and the Power only having 2. And now Port Adelaide, they're going to get a bit of an advantage here, because they're going to bounce through. It is from Ollie Wines. And he's kicked his first. The one that the Power desperately need, and they've kicked a couple of long bombs from outside 50 today. And now, Josh Rochelle, can he just put this ball out ahead of Jimmy Rowe? He might be able to. Can he just find somebody? Rosie! And the Crows have hit their targets. Any target the Crows have wanted today, they've been able to hit really well. And they've been able to finish off goals, just like Connor Rosie just did. Epic stuff by the Crows. Work their way out through defence. Walker snaps and goals. Risky play from the Crows resulted in Taylor Walker's third. Connor Rosie having one of the games of his life, and Jason Horne-Francis directly in front gets the easiest of goals you'll ever have in your AFL career. And that's quarter time. So a really good quarter of footy there by the Crows. We lead by 7 points. Really good quarter. 11 inside 50s to 9. We really went inside 50 plenty of times that quarter. Really close game though. The margin hasn't really exceeded, about 10 or so points. We've been really good though. Taylor Walker, 3 goals for Port Adelaide, is one of their best already. But Wayne Miller, I've felt his presence this game. He hasn't really had a brilliant standout game just yet. Could this be his game? Second quarter underway here from the Adelaide Ovals Crows and the Power in the showdown. Here we go. And it's going to be a push in the back anyway, and Darcy Fogarty just stabs it through and says, got another goal. That's his second of the day, and he's having a good one, Fog. Stephen Motlop, this shouldn't faze him, just inside the 50-metre arc. Slide angle, that's good. Squeezes it home, and the Power come back to 7 points. Lice out, that's risky. Farrell, and this should be a goal for the Crows, and it is. Kane Farrell gets one against his former side to finish off a really nice chain for Port Adelaide through the corridor. And again, he just squeezes it home. And that's his first of the Arvo. Oh, he played on! And it's going to be a goal for the Power now through Murphy. 44 apiece. And that is a shank of a kick. Marshall, he's going to get it back, Todd Marshall. All of that for one epic finish. Todd Marshall makes the most of his chance. Rochelle now. And now it's here for Andrew Brayshaw. He comes alive and he slots it through the middle. The Crows are on fire. We're not going to be stopping here now. Ben Keys out of the middle. Ben Keys out of the middle. He runs to 40 out. And the Crows have 3 in a row. Could this be game changing here? That is massive. Gives it wide for Kane Farrell, and the Crows are off. Going on a running spree now. He's just going to be able to kick it up over the top. Jimmy Rowe, massive. To continue the rampage here, the Crows are not happy to die down at all. They want to keep going faster and faster and faster. Jimmy Rowe keeps it going, and the Crows have been on a burst, kicking the last 4 goals. Unbelievable. Wrapped Fogarty up a little bit too high. Farrell takes a massive mark and he's going to take the shot. So this would be a massive torpedo to bring the crowd to their feet at the Adelaide Oval. He's on to that. That is out of this world. That is massive by Farrell. 2 goals for Kane Farrell, and the Crows have kicked the last 5. Putting this to bed at all here, the Crows. Fogarty, De Koning, goal. You cannot stop him. You absolutely cannot stop this team. The Crows have kicked the last 6 goals. Oh boy, Port Adelaide needed that. And they feel that a lot. It's going to go short. And it's half time here at the Adelaide Oval, and the Adelaide Crows, after just kicking 6 goals in a row, and you can see where it happened. Just after the halfway mark in that second quarter, we went bananas. And absolutely just kicked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, as I said, 6 goals in a row to absolutely rip this game apart, tear it apart. And yeah, there's been some really massive players. Miller, O'Brien, Sloan, just some of them. Fogarty and Farrell have really got themselves involved on the goal kicking tally, but there's been some other really just exciting players that have helped out, not necessarily getting goals or touches, but doing some spoils and some really important acts. Look, we just got 49 points that quarter. That was a massive quarter. 8 goals won for the entire quarter. That's really good, including the 6 goals in a row. Now, here we go. Second half underway from the Adelaide Oval Crows and the Power. Here we go. By no means is the game over. It's only the third quarter. Port Adelaide kicked the first of this quarter. There's Brayshaw, and that's risky. That's going to be holding the ball. And that's going to be a free kick to De Koning, and he pops it straight through the middle. And the Crows back out to 30-point leaders. Taylor Walker, he got served that ball on a silver platter. And he makes the most of it as he puts it through and cuts the margin back to 24 points with a 4-goal outing so far for the Tex. Todd Marshall, and after all that brilliant work in the boundary line, it results in a Todd Marshall goal, and it puts the margin back out to 5 goals. Butters to cut the margin down to 25 points. Slots it straight through the middle. Goal for goal, the Adelaide Oval. Emerging with the footy. And brilliant there to Jimmy Rowe. Jimmy Rowe was the least likely to get the footy, but he still did get it. And now, he makes a massive impact. And it is now back out to 31 points in a very goal-for-goal contest this third quarter at the Adelaide Oval. Todd Marshall has had one of the games of his life so far today in Adelaide Crows colours. And he is loving every second of it. He just gets it home. And now the Crows get 2 goals in a row. Marshall's got his third, and the lead extends out to 37 points. Thrown the ball by Zach Butters, so Nick Dacos now can pump the Crows back in again. That's a dangerous ball, and De Koning that time sliding in with the mark. Tom De Koning, and this is massive. 43-point leaders of the Crows. We are having a day out right now. 3 goals. Dixon, and now out of all that, Pedlar's going to get the goal. And the Power get the one they desperately needed. Now Power Pepper, that's throwing the ball. Matt Crouch. This would take some sort of kick. From this angle, Matt Crouch. For one of the best goals of the season. Matt Crouch slots it from an impossible angle. Dom Sheed, like if you don't mind Matt Crouch. And the Crows are having a ripper day at the office. Sam Mays pops it right through the middle for the Power. Taylor Walker. He knows how to kick goals, does that man. Brilliant outing for him. 5 goals so far, and with still a quarter to go. And now can the Crows work their way through it? They just can't. But a 32-point lead at 3/4 time, you've got to take that. Adelaide 19-6, 120. Port Adelaide 14-4, 88. That's more likely the score you'll see at full time. Still another quarter. This is one of the best scoring games we've had all season. And Wayne Miller, Jason Hill, Francis, Todd Marshall have been hard to stop. Marshall and De Koning. I still feel like they're definitely capable of bags of 5 in that last quarter. 6-goal quarter for the Crows. A massive stuff here. So here we go for the final quarter at the Adelaide Oval of this showdown. Crows versus Port. Here we go. Jordan Dawson should pick it up. No, he won't. Ben King will instead. And that is goal number 2 for Ben King. Lining up for goal number 4. Todd Marshall, 55-metre kick. That's there. That is all the way home by Todd Marshall. He loves it. 4 goals against his former side. Almost. Oh, Darcy Fogarty. Don't you love to see that? Darcy Fogarty with a goal. And the Crows are having a whopper of a day out today. Charlie Dixon, the margin is 40 points. Can he cut it? He can. Cuts the margin to 34. Will they do? But it's going to be a turnover here. Rochelle. Surely he looks at giving it over to Farrell. He does. And now Kane Farrell. He's had a pretty decent day as well. That's his 3rd of the afternoon. The Crows going to 145. Scott Lysett, 50-metre kick. Everything's going to have to go right here for him to make the carry, and he does. He's got it. Nice goal there for the Power. Against his former side, Taylor Walker, he knows how to stand up in big moments. And even though he hasn't had his own day today, his team hasn't had the greatest of days, he's still stood up and taken some big responsibilities. Taylor Walker, he has 7. Unbelievable stuff there for the Power. Rowe, Rochelle, he'd love one. He would love one. And he takes it. Josh Rochelle and the Crows are at 152. And guess who comes out with it? Jimmy Rowe. He is a superstar for this Adelaide Footy Club. That's his 3rd of the afternoon. Does he have the journey? He doesn't, but he's going to see it's an open square and it bounces through for Orazio Fantasia. Rory Laird, he can run onto this ball. Marshall kept the ball going for Rory Laird. This is going to be a goal for the Adelaide Crows. It's in some very safe hands when it's in Rory Laird's hands. Brilliant stuff. Back underway in the middle. Can the Crows try and get to 170? Motlop takes the mark. 160. It's been a whopper day out here for the Adelaide Crows, and the siren sounds, and they have had a day out. 46-point winners in the end. 26-9 165 to 19-5 119. Remember back a couple of weeks ago when it was 86-80 versus the Western Bulldogs, 93-97 versus Brisbane, 91-39 versus North Melbourne. Those are some semi-normal scores. This year, though, we've had 112-30 against Collingwood, 128-89 against Melbourne. Some scores that you're not going to normally see, and you won't see this one. I would bet so much money that you wouldn't see a score like this ever, really, in the next few years of the AFL, because it just doesn't happen anymore. 26-9 165 Adelaide, Port Adelaide 19-5 119. Wow, I don't really know what to say about a performance like that. That is one of the highest scores ever. One of the highest scores I've ever played in Evo, starting from 0. Like, obviously not setting your score, because that's called cheating, but wow. 43-32 inside 50s, we were really good. And have a look at that. We just owned the game. And I think I'm going to have to change difficulty as well, because it's just a bit too easy now. So we're going to have to change difficulty. Well, not difficulty because I'm on Legend, but change some sliders. I did that a couple of weeks ago and still finding it too easy. So I'm gonna change it again. Oh man, what a game of footy. Miller and 9 touches, as well as Fogarty and Brayshaw. 4 goals for Marshall. I reckon he was one of the best on our side. 3 for Fogarty and Rowe. 7 goals for Walker. He just had a day out. Oh yep, so we're not going to go into stats just yet, but play the match. Riley O'Brien from the Crows, so an additional Flames vote for him. Congratulations to Riley O'Brien, and we're starting to run short on time, so we're not going to waste too much more. We're just going to go ahead and hop right into Flames votes for today. And 3 votes today. Very impressed with the performance against his former side. Todd Marshall, 3 Flames votes. 2 Flames votes today is going to go to Jimmy Rowe and Matt Crouch. Thought their work was really good. And 1 Flames vote today is going to go to Riley O'Brien and Ben King. Loved their work. Wayne Miller, Andrew Brayshaw, Nick Dacos, Rory Sloan, Jason Norton-Francis. There are plenty of players that were very unlucky to miss out on votes, but when you've got an epic team like we do, it's really hard to get votes, and it's really hard to even make the team. So we're running really short of time today, so I'm not going to worry about doing any post-match stuff or anything like that. We are just going to check our emails and wrap it up, I reckon. I reckon that's what we're going to do, because sometimes we've just had a little bit too long post-matches, and I think that can really extend the episode, and it's going to be a long one anyway because of the scoring. But next round we are heading down a trip to Tassie to take on the Hawthorn Hawks at University of Tasmania Stadium in a Saturday twilight time slot. So it should be a hopefully good game. We're on top of the table, 8-1. Let's just see what else happened in that round of footy. There we go. If you want to see any other scores, that's what happened. That is what happened. The Hawks lost to the D's last week. Now to Office, just going to read the emails before we wrap up. So, stand-up forms are O'Brien, Crouch and Marshall. Brodie Smith has recovered from his injury. This is going to be a selection dilemma for next week for sure. Selection dilemmas are coming up, and yeah, this is going to be interesting because I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to play. He's going to have to get a spot in, and then Max King, he wants a chance as well. That's what happens when you have a trade period and you really bluster your side. That, yeah, it can be very tough to even get it, like, cement a spot. Because we have a lot of good talent here. Now, it says there's 2 suspended players. So this isn't very good. O'Brien, front on contact, and Farrell, front on contact. So we're going to have to, this is bad, but we do know though that we do have actions. We do have actions. O'Brien's been put down to 2 and Farrell's been put down to 2. So those are 2 massive there. And now there's going to be 2 more spots to open up. And I do say it that when you lose, like when you go out to the squad for injury, you almost lose your spot in the team. So yeah, whether O'Brien should make it back in, but whether Farrell does or not, that's going to be an interesting thing. Yeah, that's going to be a really interesting thing. So, of course, there's 2 more. It's just reduced to 2 weeks, which is going to be big, because we've got, again, massive weeks coming up in this Coach Karimo. That's going to wrap us up for today's episode, though. Next week, down to Tassie to take on Hawthorn. Thank you, guys. It was so much watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys, and then miss another video on the channel. Thank you, guys. It was so much watching. Bye, everyone. Flaming Footy out.